Hey everybody, Matthew Solomon here, and I suppose you're wondering why this video is titled Jerry Springer, Facebook Wars, and Tantra. Well, I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning and, the brain kicked on, and I was thinking about a lot of the Facebook posts that I've seen recently, but I mean, if you're watching this, most likely you're watching it on Facebook, and so you don't need me to spell out how a lot of interactions go. Just a lot of debates, nobody's listening, everybody has a point of view, and generally there's name calling and insulting, and the ball doesn't really move in any direction. And somebody had asked on one post, where did this all happen, that we're not able to actually have conversations, we're not actually able to hear other points of view and discuss things. And I had commented that it started when Geraldo got his nose broken on national TV. And for those of you who don't know, for those of you who are too young to know or remember, we used to have these, well, there still are, these daily talk shows in the afternoon. And they were usually, news related or current events related. And Geraldo Rivera had a show. And there was an episode that he had skinheads on, neo-Nazis and skinheads, and so he was giving them the forum to share, what they do, what they believe in, who they are, and all of that. And at the time, I believe most of the country, was against that, and that was seen as a bad thing. So what happened was there was an argument, people yelled back and forth, and somebody threw a chair and it hit Geraldo in the face and broke his nose, and it was huge news everywhere. And his face with the broken nose was on the cover of every magazine, and so out of that sprang more talk shows like Jerry Springer and Ricky Lake and Maury Povich, and You Are the Father, You're Not the Father. And so all this drama TV, and then reality TV that started, I don't know if it started with The Real World, but that was like the first, social experiment with different types of people living in a house. And the first one was really interesting. The second one, there was a lot of drama and it was interesting. And then the formula of, we need the asshole that's going to stir shit up, and we need this person to react to that. And so, like, the whole reality TV world, for those of you who don't know, is based around drama and creating drama and personalities that are extreme, that are going to get you to tune in. And it's, like people have said for years, it's like you're tuning in to watch a train wreck. People tune in to see lives that are more fucked up than theirs because you feel good about it. And so that whole thing. And now you got, for what, how many years? 15 years? Why do you tune in to see 20 women compete for a man they don't even know, hoping that he's going to ask him to marry them? Nothing wrong with it. It just, So all of that. And actually, before Geraldo, there was a late night show called Morton Downey Jr. show, Morton Downey Jr. And at that time they called it trash TV. And he was this extreme guy who would have these extreme guests on, and just yell and scream and call people names. And so, if you look at, Alex Jones, I'm sure people on the Alex Jones side see, the Young Turks that way. And so what we have is a media that is very separate and divided and has their point of view, and there's not much room for anything else. Now, this post isn't about politics, and I don't want to get into that and who's right and who's wrong and who's better or not, because that's what we do. You can do that on your own time. So what do we do about that if we want to? Because what happens is we see all of this, we get divided, and then we haven't learned how to communicate and listen and think. We haven't learned how to think. We forgot. They forgot to teach us how to think. They taught us how to have a point of view. We've learned how to have a point of view and defend it. for our survival, because I'm right and you're wrong. And if I'm wrong, then fuck, I'm an asshole and I have to hang my head in shame and walk away. So we dig in. Now, if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to experience that, if you want to be the change you wish to see in the world, or even if you just want to be able to breathe and not live in fear of how somebody's going to respond. And fear can look like being afraid, or it can look like being outwardly aggressive because I got to fucking take care of myself. Love. That's the only antidote. That's the only solution to any of this, is love. Whether you want to love or not, whether you want to accept or not, whether you want to listen or not. Because, I have no interest in listening to Nazi bullshit. Now, as who I am and what I stand for and, what I believe, I will stop and consider, and I'm a Jewish man saying this, I will stop and consider their point of view for a moment. Doesn't mean I'm not going to fucking punch somebody in the face. But it's love. And, for those of you who don't know, I've been very interested in studying and practicing Tantra at different levels in my life. And I'm in a course right now that's amazing. It's one of the most profound experiences I have had in my life. And it's with Dawn Cartwright, who comes highly recommended. And if you're interested at all in any of this, you should check her out. But so, it's a 7-week course, and last night was, I think, the 4th week, and, clothes are on, nobody's doing anything weird, touching anybody in, any spots they don't want to be touched in, but it's connection. It's sitting with somebody, it's being with somebody, it's looking into somebody else's eyes, and feeling their soul, feeling your soul and their soul, and this collective that is birthed out of that. And I get that this might be a little esoteric if you haven't experienced it, but to be able to experience that with one person, and then go to another person, and another person, and another person, that's love. That is love that's present. And when that love is present, when you get that connection, when you get that we are connected, when you get that you can connect with whoever you want, whomever you choose to, you can create that. Some people harder than others, I get it. But just for the sake of this, consider you can create that connection with whomever you want. You can be that space for that connection. That's how you end these battles and wars and debates. Most of the time when I get into stuff on Facebook, I'll listen and I'm not going to go into name calling, and I'll say stuff back that they're saying so they know I'm listening. And if they know I'm listening, they relax a bit, and then I can actually insert something. But it's from a place of understanding versus hitting each other over the head. And with the gun debate that's going on, again, I'm not getting political right now. This is just, if we had some form of Tantra in schools, not the sex part. The sex part is such a small part of Tantra. But in the West, we love to sensationalize things and pigeonhole and make it all about sex, but it's not. It's about connection, it's about understanding, it's about being, it's about love. If we could have that, some form of that in schools where these young people get that they are a part of something bigger, that they are connected to each other. That's a part of solving the shootings. That's a part of it. That's not all of it. And yes, like I'm all for making it harder for people to, you know, have guns and needing licenses and training and all of that. Again, not a political post. But love. But the thing is, these debates where one person brings up, you know, getting a license, and immediately they're met with, that's an infringement of my rights. You know, a states' rights, Florida, you know, chooses to impose a law, and the NRA is right there with their lawyers. And the reason I bring that up is it's the instant fight. It's the instant fight. It's you against me and me against you, and I got to protect myself at all costs. Blah, 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 blah. But no, when you can just sit and be with somebody, there's nothing to protect. You know, generally as men, you know, it's not acceptable, at least my generation, you know, we weren't raised to touch each other. I mean, you know, we hug, but it's a bro hug. It's rarely a real hug where there's love present. But when there is that hug, when there's love present, fuck, man. And when I, as a man, can do that with a woman, not wanting anything in return from her other than to just connect. Like the whole construct of, like, we have to chase women, we have to, you know, fuck as many as we can. There's no love in that. But when we can just be with another, when we be with our kids and allow them to be lunatics and be okay with that and just be like, all right. And get curious and ask them questions. Why are you upset? Why are you acting like that? And you know, in my case, they come back, I don't know. Yeah, you do know. That's okay. So what does love look like for you? What does connection look like for you? What do you want? How do you want it to be? I invite you to look at that. I invite you to meditate on that. I invite you to take that out into the world. Thank you so much for watching. As always, you can reach me at coachwithmatthewsolomon.com. I'd love to hear from you. Please like and share and spread some love today. Breathe. That's another thing. Breathe.